So, welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan here for today on the show. What can I say? We're having the best Wednesday already because we have the incredible, the amazing, the badass, the superstar, the one and only Eden. Eden, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
There you go. What better way to have a fantastic day than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? You know what I mean?
Thank you. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Now, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow. It helps a lot. But also, on the description below, you're going to find all of Eden's social media. Let's follow her. Let's discover why she's super badass. We're on a mission right now. And without further more, let's jump in. So, I want to start this whole conversation by throwing out the first question, which is what initially drew you to acting in the first place? Was there a specific moment, experience that made you realize, you know what? This is where my journey begins now.
Yeah, for me it's a little there's been like different times. I started because my brother was an actor when I was really young. I do remember being like 5, 4 and just dreaming of being an actress and putting on shows. So I think it's something I've always wanted before even he got into it. But after that like year long, I was about 6, I took a break cuz basically my mom was like, you can pick this or gymnastics. And I really wasn't getting any auditions. I wasn't booking much. I did like a couple commercials, but it was just hard to be like a young actress in LA. There's just a lot of competition. So I just kind of was like, okay, I'll put it on the back burner, but like knew I always wanted to kind of continue with it. And then I was dancing like full time when I was in high school and I did online school for that. And I got like a dance agent and they would send me out on like McDonald's commercials. So I kind of convinced my parents of like, oh, can I take like acting classes now? Because that will help. And then kind of like my senior year of high school, I just decided to switch from dancing to acting and went to school for it. So yeah, I think it was something I always knew I wanted to do, like from a very young age, watching movies, and then finally found my way back after a
There you
long
go.
break. Yeah.
Badass start. I love it. And once you
Mm.
decided, this is gonna be, my passion, everything, you started to make a little bit, like your first steps. But what were some of those first challenges? Right, it happens to all of us whenever we start something new. Right, there's kind of this learning curve, right, that we need to pass in order to become better at it somehow. So for you, what was that kind of learning curve and the challenges as well?
In some ways, it was interesting because I was already SAG, which is like in the union. So when I started again, I got really lucky, got these amazing headshots done, and the headshot photographer like sent a blast email, and then I got signed that way. So I got an agent manager super quickly, which was great, but they would send me on like very very good auditions. So like for a TV film and they would just tell me it's super hard because I'm SAG and I'm competing with, kids that have had like Disney Channel shows and just been doing it for years. So that was the first kind of challenge where I would get auditions but just like wasn't getting callbacks, wasn't really booking. And I was trying to do that on the side of college. And I think once I graduated college, I realized, oh, in order to book, I actually have to be doing auditions on my own. I have to be doing all types of projects. I can't just wait for my agent to send me out and only do like the big projects because I need to build it by reel, my resume. The first hurdle was like learning, like, oh, I can't just sit and wait. You have to be very proactive. So I know if I like knew that sooner, I'd probably be, have more experience and credits under my belt. But it was just the learning curve of, oh, there's a lot you have to do to actually work. You can't just wait for an audition and go.
Totally. And now that you mentioned a little bit about, auditions and everything, rejection is part of the whole gig, right? So how you handle rejections on it?
Luckily, I don't feel like it's rejection because, people think it's kind of crazy not in entertainment, but I actually like that once you do an audition, you kind of just put it out into the universe and usually you don't hear back saying, "Oh, sorry you didn't book it." Like sometimes you do. And I kinda like when I don't hear anything because then I just forget about it. So it's for me, it's not really rejection as just, like, a lot of sitting, waiting around, and not booking. It was really the toughest time, I think, was during COVID because I was just in a a panic mode of, oh, there's never going to be work again. But that really helped me. I think once I got through the COVID hurdle of, okay, of course there's going to be work again. You have to enjoy your life outside of acting, if that means, getting another job or traveling or whatever you need to do. You can't what you thought maybe your acting career would look like, it just might not be what you imagined, and just kinda letting go of the idea of, "Okay, it needs to be this, I need to be working at this age," and so once that I got rid of the, fear from COVID, it was like then the strike happened, and I was just so lax because I was like, "Well, we weren't working for a whole year with COVID, so the strike was nothing." So I think it was really just letting go of the idea that you need to have an expectation. So now it's like I really have a different perspective of I feel so lucky to get auditions to work. Whereas in the past, I might be like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this job, or I don't feel like doing my self tape today. I think I just have this new sense of wow, it's like we're getting to work again. I'm so excited, and just being thankful for that. And I know how hard the industry is, so I don't look at not booking or not getting callbacks as rejection. I just know there's so many people trying. It's a hard time right now. And that really helps me just stay positive because I'm like, okay, just do what you can. And otherwise, you can't, you got to give yourself grace.
Totally. And during this whole downtime between auditions, how you usually stay creative?
I find I actually say I'm not the most creative person. I feel like I'm more of a technical. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm creative in other aspects. So I think for me, what I found that helps me with the downtime is not focusing on acting. I've been doing a lot of travel, which is nice because back then you would have all these in-person auditions, so I never wanted to leave because I was like, "Oh, if you book out, you're just wondering what you're missing." So for now, now that I could do self-tapes anywhere, so traveling is I think my number one thing to get me out of my head, and I find even if I haven't been on set or taking classes, once I've traveled, I kinda come back with a I feel more confident. I don't know if it's just within myself and maybe just the experiences I've had. I'm able to bring into different characters where if you just kind of sit at home and do your same routine every day, you're just not getting the perspective you need to understand different people and where they come from, what they do. So I would say traveling is my number one. I was a dancer, so I don't dance professionally anymore, but just playing music and dancing on my own or taking a dance class is a great way for me if I'm just kind of lifts my mood up. Yeah, but other than that, just getting out, hanging out with friends, exploring, and trying not to dwell on, just not dwelling on not working or the industry helps me just be like, okay, I like my life outside of acting in the industry, and everything I get to do with acting is just the cherry on top.
Tell me, what is your usual process to prepare a character? Is it a little bit kind of peeling layers of yourself, or definitely just putting a mask and that's it?
Yeah, I mean, the technique that I really am drawn to and studied with was basically just all you can really be is yourself. So, that kind of technique is just basically finding a version of yourself that could be that character. Like, how could I end up as a drug dealer in Kansas or something? And you just kind of work through it, basically just trying to connect to the character. I have technical things that I do, I have a list of questions and break down the script in certain ways, underlining things and connecting my character to someone I'm talking to or someone I'm talking about. So there's all those things I do to break down, but just there's, easier ways. Some scripts you get and you're just immediately connected. There's not much work, I guess, emotionally that you have to do. But then there's other scripts where it just takes more effort because you're not finding the connection as much. And that might just be in terms of how they speak or what they're saying. So with those, I just try to sit, yeah, sit with the character more and try to do some deeper internal work to kind of really get to know myself in that situation and whatever that is I have to do. But it's pretty easy, I feel like, to connect to a lot of different people if you just kind of break down what the character was going through. And because I feel like you just find all of the similar, like, we're all human, so we all have similar ways we deal with things even if we're completely different people. So I think the simplest thing is just kind of listening to what the other character's saying and reacting. And usually sometimes that's all you need, just really sitting and listening to the other person and reacting as how you would. So, yeah.
Okay. And usually, when you are on this process of preparing for a role, how do you manage to separate yourself from the character when you are kind of when you are returning to your real you, let's say?
Yeah, it's interesting because I've done a couple of projects where I've had like a script for a very long time. And that was the first time I kind of started to feel like myself mold into the character. And that doesn't mean anything crazy. It's just more of you're getting all of this dialogue and all of these scripts that writer has written of this character. So when you're practicing all day, the way that character would react, even just in terms of like reactions or just like a simple line of like what they would say. I noticed it's like even if you're just around your friends a lot, sometimes if they use a phrase, you'll kind of adopt that. So usually it's like simple, like I'll get a script, not too far in advance, and you do it and you just kind of dump it. And I don't feel like I'm getting like taken over by the character. But when you have a script for a long time, I notice I might like adopt certain mannerisms or like ways that they react. Like if they like to say something like how cool all the time, like I'll notice like if my friend's speaking, I might react that way even though I've never said that. And then I think otherwise, like I haven't had to do any sort of character that's maybe like playing a real character would be difficult because you're changing how you walk, how you talk, and you're really trying to match someone, where that would be a great way to kind of adopt that into your regular life so that you are just it's always in your body. But I think the only other time that might be that I have to work on shaking things off if it's just like a dark script or it was emotionally heavy. And I think just kind of getting that release out and then just distracting yourself is enough where it doesn't like take over my everyday life, luckily.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. How do you emotionally decompress after an intense scene?
Luckily, I feel like I'm able to somehow like compartmentalize where I'm pretty good at emotional work. Like I can cry pretty easily, but I almost feel like it's like a different crying from when I'm actually sad. Like it's not as heavy on my heart or what I try to use to make myself cry. So if it's something that's like really affecting me, like that, I would need a lot of time to just hang with friends, watch TV, just watch something light. That's kind of what I do anyways. When I come home, I like to watch something fun and maybe from my childhood, like a Disney show. But for me, it's just kind of, I notice how exhausted I get if you have like a really heavy scene. So it's more just like, okay, I come home from set and kind of just need quiet time. Luckily, I don't feel like it's I get depressed or anything. I just feel very drained. And then also, if you're doing anything emotional, you're dredging up a lot of water, like from tears. So it's just like drinking lots of water and just yeah, sleeping a lot from like mentally exhausting just because you have to stay in it the whole time. You're like, okay, I need to be focused. I'm gonna have to cry at this point, and you just like have to kind of stay. If it's like an hour long that you're working on a scene, I don't like to necessarily get in and out. I just kind of like to stay very present and thinking of whatever I need to think about to be emotionally there. So I think it's just like a almost you feel better after the scene anyways because you've just been focused for so long on sad thoughts. So once it's done, I feel pretty like light and happy anyway.
Even like more badass. You're raising the bar here. I'm loving it.
Thank
And
you.
have you ever found a part of yourself that you didn't expect while playing a character?
Yeah, it's hard to know, it's hard to think of even specific examples, but that was kind of part of my acting where I went my acting studio. It was just finding different facets of yourself, and that's what's really fun about it. And I remember like first starting acting classes and really having trouble like finding, I guess, anger and rage. And it's like I could, that's not necessarily meaning I couldn't find that in my own life, but whenever it would like come up on a scene or a script, I would feel kind of, it was just hard to get there. Whereas, like, if it was something sad, that was easier for me. So, just doing exercises of like, yeah, what does activate me? What makes me angry? And being able to find that and now being able to use that in other scripts. But yeah, I feel like every scene that I dive deep into, I always learn something more about myself, especially the more time you work on a script. And it's just like so many, even little things that you're realizing what you're capable of, what drives you, what excites you. You can be sillier than you thought, louder than you thought, crazier than you thought. And that's what's really fun and exciting about acting work and about taking classes, being on set. It's like you get to learn about yourself more and more every day, which is very cool that that's a job, you know?
What usually keeps you grounded in an industry that can feel anything but stable?
I mean, definitely, I'm so lucky to have like a supportive family. They, believe in me and are letting me pursue a crazy industry. I think it's definitely friends that I've had for a long time that are just great people and love me no matter what. And so I'd say friends, family, and I guess, yeah, doing things that I really like to do, even if it isn't exactly the vibe of like LA. Like, I like we're at this camp that I grew up going to. So I think just like going away in the mountains for like a week and you come back and you're like, wow, there's like, more to life than just acting in Los Angeles. There's, finding different things that I enjoy that have nothing to do with the industry and maybe the LA scene.
And looking back, tell me, how has your definition of success have shifted?
I wasn't someone who was like, I have to be here and have this exact career, but I definitely had a vision and I've always done goal setting, vision boards. And I'm always going to strive to whatever maybe my idea was when I was younger. I think I still kind of want the same things. But I just realized like how, especially with everything going on and that has gone on, it's like just to be happy and to be able to support yourself and is is hard, and you should feel so thankful for that. There's so many people who aren't in that position. So I feel like everything I get to do on top of that is amazing. Like just yeah, being able to be fine with everything in your life and yeah, and support yourself is success to me. And I think like everything on top of that is just like the cherry on top because it's like who yeah, if you want to be super wealthy or if you want to have, big career aspirations, that's amazing. But that doesn't mean that someone that like lives in a little cottage in, the middle of nowhere, that is success to them. So it really, it's just whatever makes you happy. And yeah, so I feel like it's my goals are always gonna continue and there's things I want to do. But as long as I'm, supporting myself, doing what I love, and I'm striving towards something greater and I'm happy, like that to me is success. So
Okay. Okay. Now, let's say that one day I call you and I tell you that I want to become an actor, right? Now, here's a catch: zero experience, nothing. So, based on what you know, where do you think that I should start?
yeah, I mean, I it's, I don't think it's like a crazy thing to start. It just takes a long time. So I would just definitely warn anyone starting, like it's a, it's a commitment. But I think just getting like I tell people get really good headshots and get like an actors access profile, get a casting networks profile, and start like self-submitting yourself. And I mean backstage too. But and then, sometimes on those you can find like agents and managers that way because for me it's like Some people say to wait on that, but you're not paying them, you're just giving them a percentage of what you book. So if they can get you more auditions, then yeah, get as much support as you can. So I would say doing that and then just like kind of getting on any set that you can. That might mean like at the beginning doing like non-paying gigs or just very low paying gigs, but just getting that experience for your resume and your reel, just kind of like building your, I call it like your spider web. It's like you don't see your growth, but it is happening. And you work on this project, and someone will call you back for another project they're working on. And that's usually the easiest way to book stuff because nowadays with self tapes, it's like you turn an audition and they're like, we get 3,000 submissions. So, sometimes they just don't even have the time to look at your thing. So, anytime you can get on set is, the best, I think. Even if it's just being like, if you want to be a PA on set, that experience and it's a definitely a connection-based industry, so the more people you get to know.
Mm. Okay. I'll tell you what, if I ever become an actor, and if at some point I write my memoirs, I'll be mentioning you in my thank you speech.
Okay, great, thank you,
Sounds like
appreciate
a
it.
plan. Now, moving on here, let's jump to a quick fun activity, which is rapid fire questions yes, no, or pass. So basically, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and you can say yes, no, or maybe pass. Let's find out.
Okay,
You ready?
yes.
Cool. So, starting out, have you ever cried after an audition?
Yes,
Can you separate personal pain from a performance?
yes,
Do you enjoy watching your own work?
sometimes.
Okay. Have you ever turned down a role you now wish you took?
Mm, probably not.
Okay. Can you cry on cue?
Yes.
Do you believe typecasting still defines careers?
Yes,
Have you ever walked out of an audition on purpose?
maybe before I was called in, but not, like, in the room with the people.
Okay. Do you still get nervous before going on set?
Yes.
Have you ever improvised something that made it into the final cut?
Yes.
And would you play a character that scares you?
Yes.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And before, wrapping up here, tell me what's the one moment in your career that reminded you why you started in the first place?
I mean, that's a hard one to answer because I always tell people when they ask, what's your favorite project or set? It's like, you know, where you were at your in that point of your career, that was the most exciting. But then you level up and then you have something and you're like, that's the most exciting because it's just perspective on like what you've already done. I remember just coming out of college, or it might have been my last year, and I did this like Hulu Halloween series. And it was like this actor, I forgot his name, but he was in Friends. He played like the neighbor that got really mad at them for being noisy and like put the broom up. And I remember like knowing him, and that was like one of my first set experiences besides being on student films. And I got to like cry and get chopped by an axe, and then I saw it on Hulu. So that was pretty cool for having not a lot of experience, just coming in on a big set and feeling comfortable, and everyone was really nice. It was a good experience, luckily, not like a super horrific or scary one that made me feel inferior, even though I didn't have a lot of experience. So I'd say like that was one of the most exciting times. And then seeing it on like a streaming service I know was pretty cool.
I like it. What do you think? Yeah, the 12-year-old version of yourself would think about you right now.
I would be excited that I was pursuing acting for sure because like always felt like, oh, I need to get back into acting somehow. But as a kid, you're just like going to your activities and you don't have that much control. I might be a little bit like, wow, really? That's what you're doing, honestly? Like, because I think I probably had like big goals and dreams for myself. But yeah, like honestly, I'd probably be a little surprised with how kind of lax I am with my, lifestyle in life. But I do a lot of fun things. So I think in that aspect, I would be, whoa, that's cool. I get to like travel and kind of have an unconventional lifestyle, and I'm not like sitting in an office all day. So in that aspect, I would be proud. I think I would just be a little bit more like, you're not more driven in your career, or you're not here yet. So I think there'd be like good and bad things I'd look at as my 12-year-old self to my today self.
There you go. Okay. Okay. And like what motivates you? You know, we all have those days that basically we just want to quit. It's inevitable, happens to all of us. So how you stay motivated when those toxic thoughts start to creep in?
Yeah, I mean, for me, luckily I've been able to work again more. It was really hard during COVID and the strikes because I love being on set, and that's what motivates me because I can go a long stretch without being on set and still being motivated, remembering that time of like, oh, it's so worth it. And I don't love sitting at home doing self tapes. So it's like you just get these tough self tapes, you're sitting at home. I liked during those times to do acting classes and just kind of remind myself that, like, this is helping you. You are going to work. It's kind of just changing my attitude, and, like, through the times of COVID and the strikes, it's definitely taught me I do wanna continue this, I do want to do this. There were times where I'm like, "I don't know if I'll do this forever," but it's like that has motivated to me to be like, "Well, I wasn't working for 2 years and still wanna be an actor." So I think just knowing that I'm kind of in it for the long run, so it's just kind of helped with my patience and just believing that I am building that web. And even if I'm not seeing it, just trying to stay positive because there have been times in the past where I'm like, oh, like I haven't been working, I haven't been getting auditions, but then I'll see like a project come out that I did like a year ago. And it's like, they finally sent the clip and it's in this film festival, and just like remembering, oh yeah, like I have done a lot, and everything that I'm doing is leading me, like, I'm still on the way up. So it's experience that has really helped me of, like, it will get busier and you are getting better. So just, like, stay motivated and keep working hard on those self-tapes even if you just feel like no one's watching them. So it's like, yeah, little, like, glimmers of hope that help me stay motivated that, "Okay, I'm still in the game."
Epic. Okay. Okay. And my last question, so we can all enjoy and relax after an epic chat here. So, what do you think that could be the best title for this episode?
Maybe, like, something about, like, finding yourself through acting. I feel like that's kind of my or something about, like, staying true to yourself, I feel like was kind of a theme, like, where it's like, even if that's, like, getting away from acting, like, finding what makes me happy, and then when it is with acting, I, like, try to bring myself, so something with, like,
Mm,
myself in acting, like,
mhm.
that's the through line kind of.
Yeah, I got one. Yeah, sure, sure. So it's beyond basic, acting your truth.
Yeah, that's great.
Right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's beyond basic, acting your truth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
There you go.
awesome. Yeah,
Okay,
good job.
sounds like a plan. Sounds like a
You
franchise to
did
me. Who
it.
knows? Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. And at the end, what can I say? You know, it's incredible what you do. I love it. I admire the fact that you are pursuing something that it's outside the box. You know, the typical 9 to 5 corpo job, like all of that. The fact that you're doing something outside of it, it takes guts for sure. We all know that usually pursuing something that is your passion, let's say, can sometimes be a pain in the butt. But hey, you're making it happen. You're showing out there, and I think the most amazing part is that you're not also giving us cool characters, cool stories for us to enjoy. You're also showing us that it's important to believe and have hope to continue moving forward. And I think that is a super powerful message, especially right now in this crazy day that suddenly we are just killing each other for basically nothing. The fact that we can rely on people like you who are sending a positive message, that is super amazing. And now we discover why you're super badass. Mission accomplished.
Thank you. Yeah, it's nice of you to say.
There you go. Now, I do want to thank you for making this happen. I also want to thank those who stayed the whole episode. Let us know what you think in the comments below. But by this point, come on. You know why Eden is super badass. Let's make her viral. Hashtag Team Eden. And again, thank you for making this happen. Keep shining out there. Keep rocking. Keep kicking butt. And I'll definitely be seeing you in the next one.
Awesome. Yeah, that was fun. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.